Time to check in with Nancy Cahalen, Better Business Bureau. And if you were with us last week, as I'm sure that you were, she was running down the top 12. We got the first 6 last week, but it's the top 12 scams that are out there that you want to be looking out for. So we're going to finish off the list this week. I mean, holidays, you're having fun, but it's stressful, as we were just talking about. Everybody gets a little bit run down. You know who gets energized around this time of year? The scammers. So let's make sure that we're up to date on what these top 12 scams are. If you missed the first 6, you can find them at radioworcester.com under podcast. Let's get the next 6 this morning. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I wish there were only 6 more, but there were probably 6 dozen more created since we last spoke. So there's no shortage of scams. And we'll talk today about the other 6 on our list. And, there's a lot you can do. Keep a clear head. Don't be rushed. And you can avoid being tricked by many of these scams. So let's start. The first one on our list is lookalike websites. And we've talked about that before. The ability to create lookalike websites, fake websites, it's so easy for the scammers. And they come and go really fast, so you can't really track them down. You have no idea where they are. How do you avoid it? You got to check that URL. You can hover over it. You can check where it's going to before you make any payment or enter any personal information. It's really important that you check to make sure that it's a secure HTTPS. We've talked about that. There's a little lock icon, and that'll say that it's secure and you're safe to enter your personal information there. If you're making an online purchase, use your credit card. There's protection built in, and fraudulent charges on your credit card can be usually disputed with the credit card company, whereas if you use another type of payment, you just might be out of luck. So the next one on our list is fake charities. So typically, over 20% of all charitable donations are received by the charities during the last few weeks of the year. And it's because of the spirit of giving, but it's also probably getting in for that tax year as well. So it's a double whammy on that. And scammers are sure they're trying to take advantage of that and this increased generosity by consumers. So we're asking potential donors to look out for fraudulent charities and scammers pretending to be individuals in need. So oftentimes there'll be charities with very, very similar names as ones that we're accustomed to donating to. Just take your time. As I said, keep a clear head. Don't be rushed. Take your time, and you'll be able to avoid being scammed. Verify that the donation is going to a charity that will use it responsibly, as well as that it's not a scam. So when possible, donate to a charity through their website using a credit card. So you've got that protection built in on the credit card, and just take it easy, take it slow, and be careful. So the third one is fake shipping notifications. We've talked about that too. And, we've ordered all this stuff. Now it's coming. So throughout the day, you're getting pinged on your phone about this is coming, that's late, this has been rescheduled, progress on all your shipments. So if in between all these legitimate texts and emails are the scammers, it's easy to slip and click on one and download some malware onto your device. So again, keep a clear head, take it slow, be very careful with what you're doing. There's a holiday scam currently making the rounds that involves scammers impersonating delivery companies, and they're asking people to confirm their email addresses. This might seem harmless, but clicking on the link takes the user to a credential harvesting page. Now, have you heard of such a thing?
I have never heard of that.
There's a credential harvesting page. So it's where they collect people's information, and so they can use it later. Be careful. To avoid falling for this, always check the sender's address. When you hover over that address in your email, you can tell if it's who they say it is. So take it slow and double check before you click on anything. So we're warning people to watch out for pop-up holiday events, either virtual or in person. So I'm thinking a lot about these like pop-up stores in the malls, these kiosks. We get a
Exactly.
lot of complaints for items that after the holidays they don't work, whatever,
Hmm.
and those folks are long gone, and it's very difficult. And they're not giving things away. There are some items that are quite pricey. So look
Exactly.
for to make sure that they have a contact information. So when they're out of the mall or when even online, is it just a website? Is there an address? Is there a phone number? Make sure you have that contact information. So if something does go wrong, you're able to reach out to them to make it right.
Wow. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's really something. Great advice that you had given as well about we get some protection if we use the credit card. So that's something that maybe we want to keep in mind here as well. So not that it is necessarily a red flag, but maybe somebody has one of these pop-ups and they're saying, "Hey, it's cash only" or something. You're not going to have a lot of recourse after.
Exactly. And I understand there are fees to the business when they accept the credit cards, but there's the safety on the consumer. You want to make sure that you're not if it's a few dollar item, what's the difference, you know?
Right.
But if you're talking about a $7,500 item and you pay with cash and then it gets opened up on Christmas and it doesn't work, well, it's a shame that you'll have no recourse. So it's really important to use the credit cards and take advantage of that protection. So we have a number 11 on our top holiday list, and that is wish list items. So we've talked about this too. When items that are in big demand and are hard to find are suddenly available online at reduced prices, that should be a big red flag. And there's a number of items, and some of these I'd never even heard of. Most of them I never heard of. Maybe that's because I'm not buying for children. But when an item is hard to come by and suddenly becomes easily accessible online, and it has a discount price, I would say chances are really good that that's a scam. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So step away. Final one on our list is one of our favorites. It's the puppy scams. So we've talked about it over and over again, but I just want to give you one shocking bit of information this morning. Experts say that 80% of the sponsored pet advertisements online could be fake.
Wow.
8 out of 10.
Holy cow, that's a
So you wonder
much
why.
larger number.
Yes, it's huge, and that's the sponsored ones. But you wonder how could so many people fall victim to these scams? Well, the scammers are very active. If 8 out of 10 of the sponsored pet advertisements online could be fake, then there's plenty of opportunities for people that are looking for pets to be caught up in a scam.
Yeah, and listen, I absolutely people get some beautiful dogs. I have a friend who has some very beautiful dogs that they went and they pay a tremendous amount of money for. I've always gone to the local. We used to call it the pound, but I've always gone to the local shelter, and you see so many, just wonderful dogs. That's where our companions have always come from. Went to our present dog is Cashew, and we went to this dachshund rescue that one of my coworkers, my daughter's coworkers, was involved in. We went there. The dog came running up, jumped on us. Clearly, we said, "Oh, listen, this is who we want to bring home with us." And I've always had such great luck over the years with wonderful dogs, and been able to see them and not had to do any of this online.
Absolutely. That's a very similar story to mine with my dog. When I took him for a walk, I wouldn't let go of that leash. I said, if I leave this guy for a minute, somebody else is going to scoop him up. So, and it's love at first sight.
Yeah.
And you're able to tell what they're going to look like, how big they're going to be when they're grown, because they are. And mine was wonderfully trained. So it's a great option for families to consider.
Very,
so
very true.
One more scam that just crossed my desk, and this one is wow. So you think paying for all the gifts you're buying this year can be difficult, but it's especially difficult when your paycheck gets deposited in the wrong account. So this is what we've heard. We've heard reports about a new phishing email campaign where scammers pose as an employee and ask HR to change their direct deposit information.
Wow. Huh.
So it's gonna be hard to sleep at night thinking about that one.
Yeah, it's pretty ingenious. Oh, cow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Nancy Cahalen, thank you. Hey, thank you for a wonderful year. We're actually off next week, and I was about to write you an email, but I'll let you know we are off next week as Ben and I will be spending some time with the families. Have a wonderful holiday season, and thank you so much for all that you have done for us this year.
Thank you for having us on. It's really helpful to be able to get the word out about these scams.